Well, welcome everybody to World League Wrestling Amplify. I'm CT Harrison, and joined as always, Martin Kadich.
How's it going, CT?
Doing really good, and in studio with us, the Heart Throb Jaden.
Yo.
Welcome.
Thank you. Well, let's get one thing straight here. It's not the Heart Throb, it's the Heart Throb.
The Heart Throb.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll do that. Hey, thanks. I want to first take a shout out to our sponsors. Jim Trenary Ford in Moscow Mills, Jim Trenary Chevrolet in Troy, Impact Digital Designs,
CT Harrison Business Solutions, and Traveling East Productions.
That is correct. And 50 cents that I got out of the soda machine that fell in the... So.
Every little bit counts.
Every little bit helps. Anyhow, welcome to the show. We're glad to have you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We're happy to have you. We've been getting several of the guys in here from World League Wrestling. As a matter of fact, I should say thus far the guys, and here pretty soon one of our girls, one of our ladies, Elaney Harley will be here soon.
The lady, the legend, Elaney Harley. My favorite ref.
Your favorite ref and mine too. I mean, tell us, Jaden, who is your favorite ref in World League Wrestling, and why is it Elaney Harley?
Can I answer neither?
Yeah.
Is that an option?
That is an option, yes. For you, that is an option.
They both do a pretty good job.
Yeah. Big night last night.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun night. The crowd was definitely pumped up, and they're excited to be there.
Hello, Sarge. Sarge is on here. Jeffrey Hull. Welcome, guys.
Welcome in, guys.
Glad to have you here with us.
Personally, I like wrestling outdoors. I thought it was a nice little setup. We had a...
And the air was nice last night. It was not bad.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day. If we would have had this event last week, boy, it would have been a different story. But thankfully, the weather was great. And, yeah, it was a very successwul night in my view. How about you guys?
A different crowd. Fun crowd.
Yeah.
Different, but fun.
New fans.
Yeah.
So that's always good.
And it would be cool as if we were able to... capture some of those fans and bring them now to the arena with us. They followed us over there. That'd be great,
totally.
Right?
Yeah, I thought it was a great show overall. I mean, it was a little hard to watch at the end. I wasn't feeling the best, but that's pro wrestling.
Oh yeah, you got knocked out, didn't you?
Well,
You took a knee to the back.
That's what
a high knee.
That's what I hear.
That's what you. Yeah, you were out of it. You were out of it. Yeah, that was not good at all. Not good at all. But we can discuss more about that in a little bit. We're here with Jaden, and we want to talk about a few things with you, and maybe start discussing. Where'd you grow up? You're from up north.
Yes, sir. North Dakota, actually.
North Dakota.
Yeah. Out in the tundra, baby.
Yeah, I like the north.
Cold up there. But yeah, it's a beautiful state though. I'm happy to originate from there.
So when now you grew up there, and how much of your life did you actually spend there?
So I was there until I was 20, and then I moved to Minnesota to go to college.
Okay.
And then I ended up moving back, and I started a job, teaching job, and decided I wanted to do some wrestling. So it wasn't until after college until I got into wrestling. So.
Where'd you go to college?
Minnesota State University, Moorhead.
Minnesota State, very well known for wrestling.
It is, yeah. I mean, got the AWA back in the day there, Gagne is a big deal back in the day there, and there's a lot of
last of Bruno Sammartino's life, I believe he was in that area as well.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't get really much more of one of the largest legends ever in Bruno Sammartino.
Oh, absolutely.
Hennig, I think,
Kurt
also.
Hennig's from all the Hennigs,
yeah.
Rick Rude.
The Steiners, I believe the Steiners. Aren't they Michigan?
Michigan.
Michigan. Yeah. That's right. Not Minnesota. They're Michigan. Yeah. What else? Michael, we'll talk about the results of last night. We'll get into that here in a little bit. Sure, absolutely. Why not? The show's slated to go an hour, but since I have control, if you guys want, and we're sitting here and we're still talking, if we go over, then you know what? We go over.
That's right.
I have the control. So, what interested you about wrestling? I mean, why did you just all of a sudden go, I like this, man? Were you just a big fan?
So it's kind of a different story. I was a huge fan growing up. Watched it with my dad and other family members and stuff. Beat the crap out of those little wrestling buddy pillows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan. And my cousin had Big Boss Man and the Road Warriors. I think those were the only, yeah. But we had wrestling matches with those little buddies. I mean, we did every kind of move you can think of. But, so yeah, I was a fan growing up. And then once I hit about, like, the middle school range, I kind of got away from it. I thought it was dumb. But
You know, it's funny because when we were younger, to be a wrestling fan, you almost like hid it from everybody. You hid the fact that you're a wrestling fan from people. And now, because they're like, what? You watch wrestling? That's stupid. Now, everybody's a wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm.
The times have changed quite a bit.
Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't until college. My good friend and one of my roommates at the time, he was a fan and he was always watching and stuff. So I kind of slowly started watching. It was WWE. That's what he watched. But yeah, we started watching Raws and I just got hooked. Dolph Ziggler's the main reason behind that. Just he's one of my idols. Big fan of Dolph Ziggler. But just watching him, I guess I could kind of relate and see myself in him a little, just to like his abilities in the ring and his mannerisms, stuff like that. So, yeah, if it wasn't for Dolph, I honestly don't know if I'd be doing it again, because he's like caught my eye in wrestling when I started watching. I'm like, oh, this guy's awesome. You know, he reminded me of Shawn Michaels, and you know, he's just a mixture. So I'm a big Dolph guy.
Very cool. So when you decided to start wrestling and you started looking for schools, what brought you to, I mean, is World League Wrestling the first place you trained?
No. So I was initially trained in North Dakota by Mercer Sage.
Okay.
He runs a company there called Elite Wrestling Initiative. So I started there. Well, let me backtrack a little bit. So I didn't even know about indie wrestling. I didn't know it was a thing when I first got into it. So I was at a WWE live event and went with some friends and family, and I dressed up like Shawn Michaels and stuff. I was like crazy. But I ran into a buddy of mine that I went to high school with. He was there, and he was like a top-notch wrestler, and he wrestled in college somewhere too. But yeah, he was a great wrestler. But I was asking about him, like, how can I get into this? I heard there's something around here that you can, like, somebody has a ring or something. Like, I didn't even know they did shows or anything. But he directed me to the guy, Mercer, and then I just started bumping and, you know, doing all the fun stuff, learning the ropes. Not often do you just come about a wrestling ring, so it's something you got to learn. Everybody's got to learn once you get in there. So that was cool. So I did that for, it was about, after a year, then I started kind of traveling around and getting advice from other people. In Minnesota, I wrestled for AWF pretty much every weekend. So I was in Minnesota constantly. And I gained a lot of experience there. I got to give my friend Sepio Saunders a shout out too. I worked him so many times and just kind of, he taught me a lot of psychology and all that. But, and really to just mind things and, you know, psychology aspect, he was the guy. So I got to give credit to him. But then in 2016, I think, I did the Harley camp.
Okay.
I loved it. Yeah, the New Japan was there. Shane Helms. Who else was it, Martin? There was Dave. Why am I drawing a blank?
I'm not sure. I can't.
Oh, you weren't here that year, were you?
No, I
Okay.
don't get to go to the training camps anymore.
Okay. Well, it was great. We had a great turnout, and I learned so much from that camp. So I always kind of wanted to come back after that. Like, it was just in my mind, and I kind of had it down because I knew there's not enough wrestling in North Dakota to get by, and I was traveling so much. It was crazy, just blowing miles on my car. But
It's a long
I just
haul.
knew, yeah.
It's a very.
If I
long
want to
haul.
do this, I want to take it serious, I got to get out of North Dakota as much as I didn't want to, because I had a good job and all that, and I was still making it work by wrestling every weekend and stuff. But it's just, I mean, WWE doesn't even run shows. It's just house shows up there. They never do a Raw or something, so it's hard to get invited to an event like that if they don't have them. So I was kind of in the mixture. I was either going to do Ken Anderson's school in Minneapolis, or
Which would have been good also.
yeah, that would have been great too. Yeah, or Harley's, and yeah, I was just made the choice of Harley's. I enjoyed the friendly atmosphere, and there's a lot of knowledge there. Leland knows a lot of stuff, and another thing too, I enjoy the old school wrestling, that mindset. Harley Race was the guy. He was the heel back then. He was the dude. So I think I made the right decision.
And then you just came here to the school.
Then I came here to the school as I moved. Got the last year out of Harley's life, so I got to spend that with him, which I'm really thankful for. Even if he ran over my toes a few times, or
he
cracked
was,
me up.
Dude, he
Oh
was
my-
dangerous with that thing, wasn't
was.
he? And you know what? And he would do it with a grin, so he
Oh,
meant
yeah.
it. He meant to do it. It wasn't an accident. He meant to do it.
Oh yeah. Oh,
That's great. Jeffrey Hull wants to know who's your favorite opponent?
Favorite opponent? Is that a?
I mean, how can you have a favorite opponent?
Yeah, that's true. That's
Okay.
kind of what I was thinking.
How about this? Let's reword that a little bit. Who did you enjoy wrestling the most?
At World League Wrestling?
Yeah.
I thought Rex's feud and mine was pretty good. That was enjoyable. It was also the first time I was kind of regularly on WLW, so maybe that's why. But yeah, I enjoyed that feud.
What opponent you just despise the most?
That's another question. Can I just answer all of them? Or?
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it.
Because I want to win. That's the mentality I have. So anybody who steps in my way, cutting them down, baby.
What is Nick Brashears wants to know what's your favorite match that you've watched?
Okay, and what is your favorite match you've been wrestled? I'm reading along with you here. I have tons of favorite matches. Typically, when I watch, I study a certain wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, I'll just type in Kurt Hennig and watch a bunch of his matches and watch everything he does.
You can't go wrong.
Honestly, yeah, he's probably my favorite to watch.
Even Larry.
Yeah.
Even go back
Yeah.
and watch the Axe Man. It's totally different style of wrestling than what you see today. Of course, Kurt was, man, he was a hybrid.
Right.
He really was, because he could take you to the mat and out wrestle you, and he could shoot wrestle you like nothing.
Right.
Or he could pound you.
Oh,
He
yeah.
could submit you. Like, he could do anything.
Exactly.
And his son is great too.
Oh,
Joe's great.
he's
I
got
miss
so
him.
much talent. I think something big's around the horizon
I hope so.
for him. Yeah,
And you know,
I hope
and
so.
he's a Harley guy.
He's a WLW guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's a WLW guy. So
So I really hope the best for him.
So let's get back to coming into WLW. When you, well, I guess you came to the camp, so you got to meet Harley there.
Yes.
So what was that like?
It was great.
Other than
I
getting your
mean,
toes ran over.
He didn't do it quite then, so I had to wait till I started training until I got.
Did he steal
ran
your
into.
cookies?
No, but he constantly asked me to go to the store and get him stuff. Yeah, but we were told not to do that. So as much as I wanted to, I knew it was best.
I know.
For,
How do you
best
tell
for his
Harley
health.
no?
Yeah,
like
I know.
it's Harley race, and he's asking you for something. How do you say no?
Yeah, the guy wants some Skittles. I mean, how? Just give
And
the
then
man some
the
Skittles,
front
you
office
know?
guy always says every time you ask him that, well, how do I say no? It's Harley. He says you just say no. No, I'm not you, dude. I can't do that.
It's a little harder.
Yeah.
But to answer that question, I guess what my favorite match, if I have to pick my favorite match, probably Steamboat and Savage, WrestleMania
Ooh,
3.
good choice.
Yeah.
Very good choice.
They went all out.
Epic.
Yeah.
That, of course, when Ricky Steamboat came back and got his revenge on Randy Savage.
Right.
Yeah.
Nick
Great
Brasher says, if you could wrestle anyone, who would it be? I'm sure I would lose, but the guy I was talking about earlier, Dolph Ziggler, I think it would be a pleasure to share the ring with him.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Learn a lot.
Sarge wants to know, what's the most difficult thing you had to learn? To get along with others?
Difficult thing I had to learn. Yeah. Getting along with others, let's say that. No. Everything in wrestling is kind of a struggle when you train, especially when you're fresh, because
I mean,
it's
you were
something-
always athletic, though. You played sports.
Yeah, I grew up playing
But when you
sports
get
and
into
all that.
wrestling, I mean, it's good to be athletic, but you have to learn a whole new...
it's a whole different world.
You
You got to
know.
teach your body not to do its natural instincts.
Right.
You know, you're
Right.
falling down, and your natural instincts to put your hand down or, you know, fall to your butt or something. But wrestling, that's not the case. So that's probably the hardest thing you got to learn is breaking those instincts your body gives you. As crazy as it sounds, it's what wrestlers do. So,
Yeah. So you get into well, that was the camp. You actually move here and you're going to the academy
mhm.
and you're getting to train with. I mean, who all did you get to train with?
Rex was there. Austin and I were tag team.
The attraction.
Yep. Interaction. Austin Craven.
I wish he'd come home.
Kareem.
Kareem
Yep.
Brigante.
Yeah, man, I miss him. Hopefully he comes back sometime.
Yeah. I think when all this, you know, it was hard to get him home when all that hit, and I think it's going to be hard to get him back for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then who did Kareem live with again? I forget his name. He trained there as well. That bigger guy. Lives in St. Charles there. I'm drawing a blank. But he was
I don't
there
remember his
until he had to,
name.
because he had to quit.
Right. He had to quit.
Yeah, he had a lot of potential, I think. But Jordan, there you go.
Yeah,
Yep.
Jordan Vincent.
He and I were gonna have a match up until he had to quit. So
Oh, that's too bad.
yeah, but no, we had a good little group of guys there. You know, now the young lions coming in, guys that are the young guys now are really doing well. I think. Really excited for them.
Are you?
Yeah. I want to see them get better. I mean, it's always the goal for anybody. But yeah, I think they're doing well. Even if I kick their booty in the ring, but come on, it's the Heart Throb, right?
The
Heart Throb. Thank you.
See, I'm learning.
You are
Okay.
slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely. Jason LaCoy says, when I lived in Overland Park, I saw Harley and thought I saw a wrestling god. And it was about 40 years ago. Yeah, I hear you, bud. I hear you. So you get into the school and you're working the program and you're learning and you're training and everything. Did you find that training there was different than where you had been before?
Yeah, it was. More people and stuff, because like when I first learned, it was just.
But what about the style of training and the people involved in the training?
Yeah, it's a lot more old school and stuff. A lot more blow-up drills, to get you in shape, which is good. I tried to do that outside of wrestling, working out and all that, but there's no conditioning like in-ring training.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that is, and more just learning that old school style. You don't do any crazy moves until you know the basics. That's the
right.
Old school mentality.
Foundation. Get the foundation and then build from there.
Exactly. And, you could stay on that foundation. You can do a lot of things with just a solid core.
Right.
A solid core foundation. And I think that's another reason Harley School sticks out, too, is because it's so good at teaching those basic developments like that are so crucial that these days kind of gets looked over.
Right, it's like building blocks of what wrestling is, and there's a lot of matches where you can see they're not really touching on anything there.
Right.
Michael Rodger wants to know where'd the pigtails come from?
I just watching other, like the women wrestlers and stuff, and I think, what was it, Natty or something had him in one time. I'm like, I should do that.
By watching Natty?
Yeah, well, yeah. Come on. I got the hair. So I'm like, hey, let's throw some pigtails up and see how this works.
And it just became pigtail power from there.
Yeah, slowly went into pigtail power. Now I'm crazy enough to think they give me power. So,
hey, look, if you believe it, that's all that matters.
That's right.
I'm assuming there's no hair versus hair matches in the future for you.
No, I stay away from those, absolutely. If I had to get one, it would get nasty if I was in one, because there's no way I'd be losing that match.
That's great.
Speaking of hair, CT, your hair's getting a little longer.
I know,
I'm
right?
enjoying it. Are you going to keep that going?
Yeah. I'm growing it. I'm actually growing it back out to the middle of my back at least.
There you go.
Yeah. I've had my entire life, my hair's been long.
Yeah?
Yeah, most of my life my hair's been long, and then I just, I used to cut it, donate it, grow it, cut it, donate it, till I found out they were actually charging kids for the wigs. I stopped.
Yeah.
So, but then when COVID hit, I couldn't go get it shaved anymore. And I just started kind of letting it grow, and then I thought, you know what? Let's do it again. Let's see what happens.
It's a lifestyle, man.
Right. It's just, it's weird.
Yeah.
I either like no hair or all hair. The in-between bothers me.
There's an unwritten rule, too, with long hair. It's like, if I walk by, like I'm in a grocery store, I see somebody with long hair, you kind of give them like a little head bob, It's a...
Right.
It's a mutual thing. It's a lifestyle. It really is.
Ouch. To get off the hair for a few minutes here.
Fine.
Jason LaCoy wanted to know, how many schools should a young wrestler go to? Because he hears that some people go to 3 or 4 different schools.
Yeah, get as many as you can in, if the opportunity is like that. Unless you're like still learning at the place or something. But if you want to get out, but personally, I would probably recommend sticking with the school, and then doing some seminars. Do as many seminars as you can. That way, you get a little outside aspect, but you can still go back to your home promotion and learn that way.
You know, that's one thing that's really cool about World League Wrestling is how many of our guys do we see go out, do things, but they always come home. Eventually, they always come home and perform again.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a great thing to see, right? But yeah, I mean, if you're a young guy and want to like travel overseas and join a school there, you know, and maybe come back, like doing more than one is usually can't be bad. But like I said, I'd typically just kind of stay with one as long as you're still learning at that place. There's really no reason to leave, I guess.
makes sense.
Right. Yeah. That's I'd say recommend doing as many seminars as you can. Those are your friend. You can learn a lot of things from them, and they usually don't cost much too. You know, find them for $40-$50.
Sometimes.
Sometimes just a couple hours before a show.
And do some research, too, on the people giving the seminars.
Yes.
Because don't just go to any seminar.
Mm-hmm.
Do some research. Make sure that person really has a pedigree to them, really has a background.
Absolutely.
Because there is a lot of guys out there doing seminars that are just dangerous.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Right, they're charging
But-
$5 to $10. You probably don't want to go. I will say that about seminars.
You get what you pay for a lot of times.
Right. Good seminars usually cost you a little bit of money.
I know the ones at World League Wrestling. Well, first of all, ours are really good.
That's what I was
we
gonna-
only
that's the
bring
next
in.
thing I was going to say is get into a camp.
Yeah,
as
get
well.
into the camps.
Like that's, yeah, I wouldn't recommend jumping that many schools, but jump to as many camps as you can. Yeah, starting with Harley's. It's like I said, that was the deal that brought me here, is that camp, because it was so good. I just wanted to be a part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was 2016,
I
you said?
think it was 2016.
16,
It sounds
17.
about right, because
I think so. I think
Yeah.
that's when you started coming
So you're training and everything, and all of a sudden the time comes for you to debut. How'd that work for you at World League Wrestling? I mean, how did you feel when you got, like, did you get a call, or did you find out when you just showed up to the arena, or how did that work?
it was during training that he told me I'd be working a match.
Who was your
but-
first match?
Rex.
Ah.
Well, I mean, technically I was in like a scramble match first, or maybe it was a battle royal. I can't remember. And then also the year I did the camp, they picked a few people to stay and work the show, and I
Oh.
was one of them that got picked. So technically that was my first time. So talking about that, yeah, I was kind of, you know, I got the butterflies and stuff before
Right.
the match, and that's a good thing, because if you don't get them, you know, you're probably in the wrong business if you lose that butterfly effect. But yeah, it was really cool to wrestle for Harley Race. I
But
remember
when your music hit for the first time, and you're about to come out of the curtain, and you are the Heart Throb when you come through that curtain for the first time. You're standing back there and you hear your music hit. What's that like?
It's
You know what I
crazy.
mean?
I got to perform in front of Harley Race. He's gonna see all this. Like, not to mention that show we had Hurricane Shane Helms there.
Right.
We had
Mark Henry.
Mark Henry. Yeah, we had lots of big names I had to wrestle in front of, but luckily it went well.
I guess when you talk about the young lions, you know, at one point you were basically a young lion,
Yeah.
and you see these new young lions coming in. How does it really make you feel to see? Because, you know, in this business, you're going to take a spot, you know, and you see some of these guys coming up, and they're pretty tough.
They are, but I don't know if they can hang with me.
Okay.
You know, we're talking 6'2", 242 pounds of pure masculinity right here. So those guys gotta beef up a little bit if they want to mess with the Heart Throb.
Some pretty tough ones. Sean Patrick.
Yeah, man, he's got some wicked kicks. Got to stay out of the way. Mental note to stay out of his way when I'm in the ring because I don't want to collide with one of those kicks.
Right.
I'll tell you one guy that's really kind of goofy though is ZC.
ZC
Right.
Hendricks.
Yeah, that guy. He's like
Does he bother you?
he kind of creeps on me, honestly. Like I think he really.
Like, is he stalking you?
I think he's like almost to the point I am to Dolph Ziggler. I don't know. He's weird, man.
Huh.
He's always like telling. I don't know. I can't even explain
you know,
it. He's just a goofy guy.
He's got the long blonde hair.
He wants to be me.
Yeah, well.
You think so?
He's told me that.
Well,
Yeah.
Did he?
Maybe he emulates you and wants to be like you.
I mean, he stole your pigtails at one time.
Yeah, and the time I
Well,
wrestled him,
stole.
he took my
Yeah.
pigtail out.
Well, that's
I don't know.
Do you feel violated?
Oh, absolutely. No one takes my pigtails out. Come on.
Okay. Well, maybe he wanted his own pigtail power.
That only works for me.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Is that something that can be taught?
No. Well,
You either have it or you don't.
exactly, yeah.
Huh. Well, that's interesting. We'll have to wait and see what happens. It'd be interesting to see if you know what, I'm gonna keep an eye at the next shows.
Yeah, watch.
And I'm gonna
He's
watch
always
behind the
up in my
curtain. I'm gonna actually
business.
pay attention to see if he's like peering across the room or standing behind the curtain. Think he's
Yeah.
watching your matches closely?
Probably.
Think so.
Yeah. He's a weirdo, man.
What about last night? Did you speak to him last night?
Yeah, he was in my ear constantly, trying to talk to me, and I'm like, dude, I need my space, bro. Let me be.
Well, I seem to remember him asking you about advice for his match coming up.
Yeah.
You know, and you know he's worried about beating Raheem.
Which he didn't.
Did you watch that match?
I did.
And what did you think?
I mean, both of them are pretty talented individuals.
Raheem's got a future.
He does have a future. He's
Very talented.
Very talented. He needs to get in that weight room, though.
No
He's
body
a pump a
shaming.
little iron.
No body shaming.
But yeah, very, very athletic kid. Very
Yeah.
charismatic.
So, if you were to give ZC Hendricks some advice after last night's match, what would you tell him?
He needs more in-ring awareness, like where he's at, because Raheem caught him way too many times, slacking. So he also needs to get in that weight room too. Wrestling's always better to be stronger.
Yeah. Well, maybe, have you thought about maybe, helping the kid out?
You think I should?
I don't know. It's up to you. I'm just
he
throwing
always
it
is
out
in
there
my
into the
business.
universe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I remember you guys having a match not too far back, and I hate to say it, but I guess I was stalking because I was watching your match, and you.
Wait, so you're stalking me too?
No, not stalking.
Oh.
You, but I figured you would say that. But you beat the crap out of him, and he just kept trying to get back up and fight back. And
Yeah, he's got some heart, doesn't he?
I've seen you do the same thing.
So you're saying we're kind of alike.
And maybe you guys are. I mean, I'd hate to,
I mean,
Do
we
you
have
maybe
the hair,
see? Yeah, but do you maybe see a younger you in him?
You know what? He dresses like I used to. That's kind of weird now that I think about it, because his tights remind me of my old tights. Before I knocked down to straight old underwear. But
Huh?
so that's.
I'm
that
seeing
is
kind of a
kinda
weird. There's a
now, yeah.
little kind of a pattern going here. I don't know if you're aware of it.
I don't know if I like it or not.
Is there room in World League Wrestling?
Well, here's the deal. The Bold, Beautiful bodies are on a little break right now. I don't know if it's going to resume at a different time. So right now, I'm a singles wrestler, baby. Like, but if he wants to try to hang sometime, see if he can handle it in the ring. I don't know. I don't know if I can trust him. That's where I'm at, I guess.
What if you just let him come out and as a second, and just watch,
Since he already does, yeah. I mean, he could just, I could throw him. He could be my little ring boy, maybe. Take my glasses, because a lot of times the referees don't do a good job of putting them away.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you gotta work on that. But maybe he can be like my little attendant.
Well, I don't know.
I
Maybe
don't know if
something
he's
to
up
talk
to a
about.
tag team partner, but maybe he can be my little tendee.
Yeah, maybe so.
Well, Nick Brashears wants to know, man, what's next for Pigtail Power? What's the one thing you'd like to accomplish before you're done?
I mean, I would like to get signed to a major company. I don't know if that's the
You have your eye on
option.
one? I mean, is there one that you particularly... I mean, are you one of those guys that says, like, WWE is the top of the mountain, that's where I have to go, that's where I want to go? Or are you one of those guys that looks and goes, I don't know, man, NXT's pretty damn cool.
Yeah. When I first...
AEW, what...
Yeah, a few years back, I mean, I was thinking, like, only WWE, But now my options are kind of open to anything. Anything that pays a decent amount and gives me some good exposure. Right now, there's just so many good companies out there. It's kind of exciting. Before COVID, now it's kind of in a dark spot. But I think
they're starting to come back, though.
Pick back up, yeah, and I think it's going to pick back up strong, and wrestling's going to come back out alive.
I think, I was very upset. The death of the territories was a change in the whole environment of wrestling.
Yeah.
And then you had WWE, WCW, and that was about what you got. Because we weren't really getting New Japan over here at the time. I mean, you could find it if you traded tapes and you did, that kind of thing. But now, all of a sudden, in the last several years, it's like independent companies started popping up again.
Yep.
State by state.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. You had ROH. You had, all these, Evolve and all these other companies that were not really on this lower level, but they weren't, WWE. But a guy could go and make a living as a wrestler. And they had TV deals. And all of a sudden now these indies are getting TV deals. Mm-hmm. Shoot, we're on 4 stations in 3 different markets, including Houston, Texas.
Right.
It's almost like a resurgence of the
Exactly, and that's what I was getting at. Was it's kind of like, in a way, with all the content that we can now see as wrestling fans from all over the world now, it's almost like heaven to a wrestling fan again.
It is. Yeah, it's really exciting.
It's an exciting time.
It is. Once this COVID stuff gets gone and away, I think we're going to see wrestling really expand. It's a good thing. So, I mean, with that said, like I stated before, just, any contract that's headed my way would be awesome. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I can tell you, it's kind of been a resurgence since the COVID thing came down, there are a lot of places going to open arena type events now, so people can distance a little bit and watch wrestling and have fresh air around them.
I'll tell you what too. It's really neat to see how wrestling's adapting though too.
Yeah.
Like how WWE.
Oh, dude, the Thunderdome.
Yeah, that
was cool.
That was pretty cool.
It still is cool. It took a second.
Was that Zoom? Were they tuning in through Zoom?
I don't know exactly how they did that.
Because I heard the next morning. I think it was because of all the school starting up. But Zoom was down because it crashed. But I'm wondering if that had a big thing to do, because there were so many Zoom faces up there.
Right.
That it was just insane.
And
but it's cool. It was different, and I think it's going to be the trend in sports now. To do
as a wrestler yourself, you know, what's the difference to you when you walk into an empty building and perform for a camera, or if you walk into a building with people and you're performing for people? There's a whole different vibe. You feel a whole different way when you come in down there. So even if they're just the videos of people and you walk out there, wouldn't it make that much more difference to you to see their faces? Even if it's on a screen?
Better. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't get any better than the actual butts in the seats.
Sure.
But, I mean, seeing people watch, I guess, is just a step up and can give you that adrenaline, to help you out. But, yeah, I think that's definitely a plus what they're doing. Very, very wise idea, whoever thought of that. But another thing, too, like the different kind of segments and stuff that these companies on TV are doing to adapt to the situation is pretty cool. I think it's neat.
We're going to take a quick break. I meant to do it a little while ago, but we got to talking and I forgot. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with the Heart Throb, Jaden.
Jim Trenary Ford in Moscow Mills, Missouri has knowledgeable sales staff and expert service technicians dedicated to delivering the best possible customer service from any Ford dealership in the region. Subscribe to our channel for comprehensive vehicle walkarounds, test drives, and model-specific how-to videos, which will give you a glimpse into the passion we have for these vehicles and the real difference the Jim Trenary experience makes. Stay up to date on the newest technology, features, models, and news from Jim Trenary Ford, where our huge inventory means we'll have the perfect vehicle to fit your lifestyle. Our seasoned team of sales and service experts can get you in, out, and on with your day without the pressure you'll feel at the other dealerships. Subscribe to our channel and stop by to see the difference the Jim Trenary experience can make today.
World League Wrestling in memory of Harley Race.
Welcome back, everybody, to WLW Amplify. We are here, of course, with the Heart Throb, Jaden. And let's talk a little bit about last night. You faced Kyle Roberts.
Yes.
What was the deal with the mask, man?
I don't know.
You
Well, it scared the crap out of me. It was dark out. We were at the outside venue there, and stupid light up mask. Like, I turned around and I get this ugly looking mask in my face. So yeah, I was a little bit scared.
No, I have to admit, I talked about it, on a show before about the change in the way he's acting, and it's weird. He's a different person all the way around with the I mean, he's still kicking Kyle Roberts really when he's in there fighting.
Yeah, he kicked me a couple good times. Old punk. Wasn't happy about the outcome. I mean, that's what happened. I got kicked in the head, and then he did that stupid stomping thing off the top. Just dang near broke my ribs. So thanks, Kyle. But I definitely need a rematch at some point, because I need to get my revenge on that goofy masked idiot
Well, is
whatever
that
I want to call them. I don't know.
do you have your eye on any of the prizes right now?
Yeah, I want them.
I mean, you're above the junior heavyweight championship, so that's not a viable option unless you lose.
I want the top one.
You want the heavyweight championship.
That's right. I want to be the top guy.
You ready to take on a man like Derek Stone? And I'm not asking that to be, you know,
That's a big boy. That's
Yeah.
a big boy. And he's
That's a
got
mean
lot
boy.
Of experience, yeah.
I mean, you saw
He's
what
also
happened last
very
night.
hairy.
Well, you take, for instance, what happened last night
With he and Sean.
with him and Sean.
Yeah. What'd you think of that match?
Man, that was Derek the whole way.
Yeah.
He controlled that match. He controlled Sean.
Yeah, Sean had a couple moments, but yeah, Derek's he's just got that.
But you got a man like
Knowledge.
Sean Patrick isn't even 200 pounds.
Sure.
195, 190? I don't know. I'm not really sure.
He's right at that, I think, right below 200 mark. Yeah. So,
And
that
then,
being said, I mean,
but it's not
I
just
gotta-
him though. You're dealing with when you face off for, if you were to face him for the championship, you're not just facing him. You're facing Camaro
Yeah.
and you're facing John Webb.
Yeah, those two little.
John Webb, of course, was the first World League Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Champion and a former heavyweight champion. Losing it, of course, to Derek Stone, which I find kind of weird now that they're all together.
Yeah.
And then you have Camaro Jackson, who could easily be the heavyweight champion at any point in time if he wanted.
Yeah, those tree trunk legs. Jeez. He's a-
So my point to this is, if you go after a man like Derek Stone, you're not just facing Derek Stone. You're facing all three of them. Because that's what happened last night.
Maybe that little long hair punk ZC might need to stand outside for that match then, if that's the case. Be like my little hyena out there. I don't know. But yeah, that's the thing. If I face Derek, I get those two other guys. It's basically 1-on-3.
Or if you
Or we need
ever
to make this a
decided,
lumberjack match or something. Get everybody out there.
yeah, but who can you trust in the back? You personally.
Point. I can only trust myself.
And then, if you were to ever go after the tag team titles, you run into the same problem because now you're talking about facing Camaro Jackson, John Webb, and the heavyweight champion Derek Stone.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose with those guys because they sticking around and I don't know. It's just not. Something needs to be done. All three of them guys cannot be out there every match because they're screwing up the matches.
And you know John comes with a chair most times.
Exactly. I mean, I faced Camaro and John both are both great wrestlers, but this has got to stop because, yeah, they're just hoarding those belts, and they shouldn't have them. All three of them shouldn't have a belt.
Okay.
So you say you might want to have a little bit of backup, and you say you can't trust anybody first off, which you know it's a competitive sport.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so even like somebody like CZ Hendricks gets in the ring with you to help you out. Can you really trust him?
I don't know, because I don't know if I can or I can't. Like, he's just a little fanboy right now of mine. So maybe he would. I don't know. Maybe he would stick up because he really likes me. Even after I slapped the crap out of him and pinned him for the win, he still is coming back to me and asking me questions and being nice to me. So, I mean, maybe he is somebody to have my back. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if I can trust him or not, to be honest.
I mean,
he's definitely been better to me than other people in the back, so there's that.
Okay. Makes sense to me.
That's right. Now, I hear there was also a triple threat match at the end of it.
There was a triple threat
A
match.
six-man tag,
Unfortunately, you took a high knee to the back.
Yeah, I got a little woozy.
Yeah, and you had to be taken to the back. Elaney came out. Next thing we know, because here's what happened. Derek Stone got the pin. He got the 1-2-3 on Sean Patrick. The other two members, of course, came out and they started stomping on Sean Patrick. So out runs Moses and Jaden Dominic Rose.
I saw that.
The ring was cleared. Sean Patrick was
Fuming.
He was mad. Totally
He was
mad. Elaney comes out, and next thing you know, we have a 6-man tag. Moses, Jaden Dominic Rose, and Sean Patrick versus the Empire in Derek Stone, John Webb, and Camaro Jackson. That was a hard-fought one. It was a really good match to watch. In the end, JDR, Sean Patrick, and Moses for the win. Matter of fact, John Webb had to be carried to the back on the shoulders of Camaro Jackson.
No, I'm not. It's nice to know I wasn't alone.
No. But a big shout out to McDingers.
Big shout.
One, what great hosts they were for that show.
Yes.
The staff was amazing. The food was amazing. The venue was amazing. The air was amazing. It was great.
You know, I remember going out for your match. You know, I was standing next to Ben Simon as he's announcing you coming out, and I'm looking over, and we got the ring set up, and like you're looking right over a fence, and you get to see a nice little sunset as the sun's setting, and there's nice fresh air around you, and we're getting pro wrestling too with lots of fans. You know,
Yeah,
it was a great atmosphere all the way around.
it really was.
I think we got another. We could do that again before the summer ends here. I mean, it stays warm here. I've wrestled in November in this state before, so it was like 50 degrees outside. So
Well,
I would gladly go back there and wrestle again. It was fun.
That was a fun venue.
Yeah. And I really enjoy, like we touched on earlier, all the new fans we got there.
Yeah.
So
I think
a lot
we
of them, it was
introduced.
the first time
Yeah.
they've ever seen wrestling.
Yeah. What was it? We
I mean,
introduced a
live.
whole new set of
Yeah.
fans, I think,
Yeah, we did.
and hopefully they'll follow us to the arena.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 15 minutes from the arena where we were, so yeah, hopefully they follow and come along. It's always good to have new fans.
Absolutely. Just to ask you, just in closing, as we get close, do you have any advice for up and coming wrestlers, guys that want to get into this business? What would be your best advice that you'd give to them,
Just,
other than don't stalk you?
yeah, don't stop. No, just always be a learner. I don't think I'll ever consider myself like a veteran. Like the wrestling term green means you still learning wrestling, and I think I'm always gonna just consider myself green. You know,
Well, the
'cause
industry
there's always-
constantly evolves too,
Yeah.
so there's always something to learn.
Something you can learn from anybody. I mean, it doesn't even have to be a wrestler. You know, because you could get a fan's point. I like to get a fan's point of view of things, and then other wrestlers' points of view. I like to get different views because that's what you're getting at in the program. I mean, that's what the people watching come from all different places. They do different things, so you're getting that wide perspective. So just listen to what everybody says. You know, there's sometimes you get some bad things, but don't listen to that. You know, you can pick and choose what you hear from people.
Well, and if it's bad advice, as soon as you do it, it's going to show itself as bad advice anyway.
Yeah.
You know.
I know one thing. I'm very critical on myself, and when I first started, I didn't even watch my matches because I just hated it.
Really?
Yeah. I still don't like them, but it has benefited me tremendously to watch them and watch for my mistakes, what I could have done.
You ever go back and look at it and go, is that really what I looked like?
Oh, yeah. That's definitely what I did.
Why did I do that?
I know. What was I thinking? Yeah, but that's one critical thing there is watch yourself and just, if it takes getting out a pen and paper, do that. Jot things down, because I know I'm a person that if I don't write something down, I'm not going to remember it. So, yeah, just take the time and always learn. Seminars, camps.
Keep your
schools.
mouth closed and your ears open.
Yes. Rule number 1.
Ask questions.
Yeah.
No,
Yes,
the minute you stop learning at anything,
Yeah.
that's when you stop getting better. That's when you stop striving. That's when all forward movement stops. Is
Yeah.
when you think you've got there. And it's way better to think you're still going than it is to say you're done.
Yep.
So,
So, I mean, you've got several years left in this industry. Do you see yourself stepping away at any time, or is this something you're really still passionate about and are just going, nah, I don't see an end to this, man.
Yeah.
I'm in for the long haul.
I don't see an end to it. One thing I'd like to do in the very near future is get over to Japan. If I could get over for like a month or 3 months, something like that, I think would benefit me so much to get that outside experience. And
Yeah.
I could, and just it's different wrestling over there too.
Well, can you imagine if you got to actually train in the dojo?
Yeah,
I
mean, go
even to be a
train
young
7
boy,
days
man.
a week, and every night you wrestle a show.
Yeah, go
So,
be a young boy for a while and watch what you learn.
Right. I think that'd be really humbling, and I think it'd benefit me a lot in the long end. I'd learn so much. So definitely want to do that. And then just, wrestling's the thing about opportunity. You just kind of got to wait, keep going, and keep improving.
Do you see World League Wrestling as always being the place that you'll always go back to no matter what happens?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That place WLW and my original training place, I still go back. Because if I drive, it takes over 14 hours. So typically if I do a show back home, I fly. But it's always nice going back there. And because, that's where I originally learned.
Right.
My first bumps. So that place and WLW are kind of like my two home promotions.
That's your
I
go-to,
guess.
man.
Yeah,
That's
like I save the dates for those guys for mostly. So they get a little more priority.
You got to do a little bit of outside stuff already, didn't you? Did you do anything with OVW or any of those?
Yeah, I've wrestled
did,
for
didn't you?
OVW plenty of times. And then they did the first ever wrestling combine. I did very well. They selected, kind of like the Harley camps, where they select a couple people. I got selected to work the show after. But it was kind of cool being in the first ever wrestling combine. It was different. It was open to anybody too. So and it was a scoring thing. They'd score you 1 through 5, and in everything. As far as in ring, we did like lifts. We did like the bench press and pull ups. So there's some guys that could. Some guys didn't even have any experience, and there's some bodybuilder dude in there. He's freaking jacked, and he was just cranking out the bench press, So he got a really good score on that, where it was all kind of in your rep range. And
What's your bench?
I don't go all out anymore like I used to, because it's just really bad on your joints, and honestly, it doesn't do much benefit. I do a lot of research on it. I kind of stick within the 8 to 12 rep range. I used to, my strongest I was probably my freshman or sophomore year or college. I was strong. I'm not that strong anymore. I don't train that way just because for wrestling it doesn't. I mean, unless you're a huge guy.
You just want to stay healthy and toned and
Yes,
and,
in
yeah,
shape and
stay in shape. Well, good deal. Jaden, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
We'll do it again sometime.
Absolutely.
Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
I love talking WLW.
Yeah.
So it's a good time. I'd love to be back.
We'll get back with you, after a few shows. We'll see what transpires in the future. And
Sure thing.
we'll be next event. I'm going to watch ZC Hendricks and see what he does.
Do it and tell me what you think.
All right, I will. We'll do that. So, again, a thank you to our sponsors, Jim Trenary Ford in Moscow Mills, Jim Trenary Chevrolet in Troy, Impact Digital Designs,
CT Harrison Business Solutions, and Traveling East Productions.
and of course, as always, the most important, you, the fans. We're thankful for you. We're thankful for Harley for giving us this business and this life.
Amen.
And we will see you next Sunday. I guess the next thing coming up will be Thursday Night Showdown on our Facebook and YouTube page. 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time is when that fires off. Don't want to miss that. It'll be TV episodes of World League Wrestling for you to watch. And then next Sunday, do we have... Who do we have next Sunday?
Well, I'm trying to get Camaro Jackson to call in.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll let you know this week exactly. I'm sure at some
we will
point.
as soon as we know.
So we'll see you next Sunday right here at 4 o'clock Central Time for WLW Amplify. I'm CT Harrison. He's Martin Kadich, and we will see you next weekend.